Have you ever thought about starting your own podcast? When we were trying to get this podcast off the ground, we had so many questions. How do we record an episode? Where do we find background music? How do we get our show on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and all the other places that people like to listen? And where do we find advertisers? The answer to every one of these questions is really simple. Anchor. Anchor is a one-stop shop for recording, hosting, distributing, and monetizing your podcast. And best of all, it's 100% free and 100% ridiculously easy to use. Anchor makes it simple to get up and running. You can upload and schedule your podcast ahead of time. It publishes to all the major podcast platforms. You can easily check your stats. I could go on, but instead, why don't you go and get started? Go to anchor.fm/start to join the e-commerce minute and a diverse community of podcasters already using Anchor. That's anchor.fm/start. We can't wait to hear your podcast.
It's the E-commerce Minute, your daily dose of e-commerce, tech, and retail news with your hosts, Bart Mraz and John Suter. The E-commerce Minute is a production of Sumo Heavy, a digital commerce consulting firm in Brooklyn, New York, and Philadelphia. Find us on the web at sumoheavy.com. It's E-commerce Minute, episode 330.
In today's episode, BuzzFeed is opening a toy store in New York City.
The New York Post is reporting that digital media player BuzzFeed is planning to open a toy store in the Flatiron district of New York City, just in time for the holidays. The news site's toy shop will be called Camp, and there will be a sales area in the front and experiential play area in the rear of the store. Camp is putting a twist on traditional retail play and plans to keep their store fresh by rotating in new decor and merchandise every few months. For example, one month the store may feature a jungle theme and sell exotic stuffed animals, then switch to an oceanic theme or a sports theme. The experimental strategy is similar to another Manhattan store, Story, which incorporates a gallery aesthetic and changes their look and inventory every few months. Rachel Sheckman, Story's founder, is an advisory on the BuzzFeed retail project. Story was acquired in May by Macy's. The Camp store will be located in the Flatiron district at 110 Fifth Avenue at the north corner of West 16th Street and boast 11,000 square feet of space as well as a 2,500 square foot basement. The Joe Fresh casual retail brand formerly occupied the Camp space. BuzzFeed's retail ambitions reflect the wide gap left in the toy sector after the demise of Toys R Us. Amazon, Target, and Walmart have already expanded their offerings for the holiday season to capitalize on the closing of the store.
So, welcome to BuzzFeed's another experiment.
Well, they can, I guess. This is not their first foray into goods and retail. Nope. If you remember, we reported way back in March 9th, they did a co-branded thing. What was with Tasty?
Yes. Well, I mean, Tasty is theirs. So
right, but I'm saying with Tasty, they were the Tasty kitchen goods.
Yes, so Tasty. I mean, it got started accidentally by them, and then they went, "Oh wait, this works."
I don't see as many Tasty goods, Tasty videos as I used to.
Because there's other things out there. So
you think my algorithm is just saying I'm tired of Tasty?
Yeah, but I would rather have more Tasty than
some of the other garbage out there.
Right. Anyway, yeah, I mean, BuzzFeed does these experiments. I mean, they've been famous for, doing obviously all the headlines, all the catch headlines and doing stories. And as a media company, I think they're really doing pretty well. So why not try something new too, right?
You won't believe what happens next.
Is that going to be the tagline on the toy store?
You won't believe what happens next. Yeah. So it's obvious that everyone, the sharks have circled. They see the big hole left by Toys R Us.
And FAO Schwartz.
Walmart has said last month they'll boost their toy assortment by 30% in store, 40% online. Target says they're planning to double its new and exclusive toys for the season. And Amazon, which we had reported, is doing a toy catalog. I haven't seen it yet. I don't know if it's out. But they could boost their toy selection by as much as 30% in some categories this season. And of course, you got BJ's, Party City, Kohl's, JCPenney, Five Below, Costco. Everyone else is going for that lost share. And stat time, because we love stats. The American Specialty Toy Retailer Association said this past spring that 2018 will be the best year yet for neighborhood toy stores nationwide. I applaud that. Yes, support your neighborhood business.
Yep.
And not lost in the shuffle, FAO Schwartz is opening a new 20,000 square foot flagship New York City store and marks the return of one of the city's iconic holiday destinations.
It's been gone for a moment there.
Love it. And, the cherry on top, 6 months from now, Toys R Us might be back if they find another buyer for the assets or whatever.
Is that like Sears?
And Sears. Put a fork in Sears. I'm not even sure if we should even do a story on Sears because it's always seemed like such a foregone conclusion, and it's so freaking sad, but it's the way it is.
Do a story on Sears, I think, because there's a lot more to it. Anyway, back to BuzzFeed.
Back to BuzzFeed. Who?
Who? Why don't we just go off? I think this is going to be good for them. This is going to be fun, and I think it puts a physical sort of show for BuzzFeed itself, right?
Well, it's interesting that it is not the first time that they've done this. So I'm just wondering what their ambitions are, because everyone now seems to know what BuzzFeed is, but then now it begs the question, what does BuzzFeed want to become? BuzzFeed wants to become some sort of brand, or do you think they're just capitalizing on things and just being experimental and saying, throw it up on the wall and see if it sticks?
I think they're bringing experimental fully for now, and they're a media company, so they'll figure out other ways to channel their influence.
Interesting. No, I think it's, I looked at it and I kind of was, I did one of that, like when the dog turns its head sideways and goes, toy store? And then I went, well, why not? Because they have the name cachet. They could do it as a pop-up and just be like, hey, it's just a fun thing that we did. They'll make money off of it. I don't see how you lose. So, if anything, brand awareness, if they're putting this thing right in Flatiron, it's like brand awareness right there during the holiday season. So we'll see. It doesn't really say that this thing is going to stay open forever and ever. It might just be there for 6 months, might be there for a year, might be there forever. You never know. All right, very good. You got anything to add?
Shop at your local toy store?
Yes. Shop at your local neighborhood toy store.
Sorry for the BuzzFeed.
Sorry,
Wait,
BuzzFeed.
could they be considered a local toy store?
Yeah, because it's only one. Right, there you go. Support your local toy store. All right, that's your e-commerce minute for today. We'll see you on the internet tomorrow. That's it for today's show. If you like the show, do us a favor and subscribe, or leave us a review on iTunes. And don't forget, you can now listen to the e-commerce minute on your Amazon device. Just add e-commerce minute to your flash briefing. And finally, if you have a comment or suggestion, or just want to say hi, find us on social media at Sumo Heavy.